Hi guys. So I thought I was gonna do some pick a card messages because the energies are so heavy tonight, and I actually thought they'd be about relationships. Um, and then when I pulled them, and I don't do relationship readings, you guys know that. I mean, sometimes I will for local people if they really need it, or if somebody else really needs it, I will. But that's not really my forte. And then when I got the piles out, and I'll put the pile pictures somewhere in here, 1, 2, 3. These are definitely crossed over loved ones that need to get some messages to you guys. And that is beautiful to me because I do that for local people. And I was just talking with my cousin about how, I can't really do that online, but I guess, ask and you'll receive, right? So, if you concentrate on the cards, pick your pile. And I do know that there's going to be several different people that will get the same pile. So you really need to take what resonates with you. When I do this locally for people, what I do is I get pictures in my head, and then I'm able to describe these. But since I actually threw cards for these, I do have a couple messages that already came through for pile number 1, and I'm sure I'll get them for pile number 2, but we're just gonna try this and see how it goes, because this is definitely the most important kind of message I would want to deliver to you guys, is just reassurance at this time. And I think that's what I'm really getting, because it took a lot to have me figure I was going to do a love reading. So I think they figured if I was okay with that, I'd be okay with this, because I already crossed the hurdle, and that's kind of how I have to be. It has to be super important for me to be pushed to kind of expose my introvertness with this, but I really am. So I really feel to whoever was called to this, people really have something to say to you. So that's beautiful, and I'm so honored to be the one to give this message to my people that just see me online and not in person. So I am going to start with pile number 1. So if you picked pile number 1, which had a pine cone and a shell and a feather. See, this should have been my first clue, because I always get feathers when I'm supposed to be attracted to something from spirit. And it looks like we have a piece of feldspar here. And then I also drew a little message out of a cup that my daughter actually gave me in 4th grade. I was called to do that, and I was like, whatever, I go with it. And that message says, thank you for the good food. So what I'm getting for this person that is trying to reach out to you is either they were a really good cook in your life, but also that just their being in your life was nurturing to your soul. And I'm getting truth chills for that. This is a person that you could tell absolutely anything to, and not be concerned about them judging you. So they want to just like an encompassing feeling, like a protective, nice grandma feeling, and that doesn't have to be a female. It can come across as your dad or your mom, or an aunt or a friend. And this person just really wants to confirm that this is how you would know in your heart that it was them, just a really nurturing, loving feeling. And maybe they did nurture in your family through food. You have to find that confirmation for yourself. And then next I have the first card that you guys actually picked was Lumeria, creating heaven on earth. It's happening. And it does have a triangle there, beautiful sunset. I'm being called to the sunset, so maybe that is actually significant for somebody. Maybe you think of somebody when you see a sunset, and bluffs. It almost looks like the bluffs where I live, so I don't know. It's actually a tree line, but to me it's looking like bluffs, like made rock across the river. Not sure. Alright, so the first thing I asked is how you feel about them, and then how they feel about you, your situation combined, and then advice. So for you specifically, I got the Fool and the Knight of Swords. So I have a couple messages from this. I really feel like you're a carefree spirit, like you're loyal and you're loving and you're inventive. And if you just see, you know, the Fool in this card, I'm being drawn to his eyes looking up. So you really are like expanding your viewpoint at this time. I also have the Knight of Swords. So that does denote, every knight, you know, kind of denotes action and fire energy, but I really feel like maybe after this person passed, there was so much to do in your life at that time. And maybe that's something, and they're both looking towards the past too, and maybe that's something that you feel guilty about, that you weren't around enough. And I'm really getting the wings on the horse here too. Like you had so much to do, you had so many places to go, you had one of the horse's legs is a different color, so I'm really being told like you weren't able to get there. Maybe you weren't with this person when they passed, but and the Fool is bouncing something up and down, but they're telling me, you know, that they're with you all the time. But it's just a really good energy, like that you're you know, you're through your Fool's journey, through having this open heart. Like I actually got in another part of the reading, like the heart of a child, like you're being called to have the heart of the child, to see things in a different aspect right now, and you're not looking towards the mountains in the back. So that's amazing. I really feel like you guys are going to have some lightning soon. As for your person, and this is kind of the first heads up to me that was like, uh-oh, I'm talking to like a passed over person. So I got the Nine of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. And usually this would denote, you know, I was actually getting the message for this one that like they're seeing you grow into a more independent person. But then like it's almost like the bird was flashing looking that way, and then with the Page of Swords looking that way, I'm like, oh my gosh. So they're around you and they're watching your progress, and they're really feeling like, and I think that this person was a strong person too. Like this person was like solid, like independent, like whatever happened around them, they were able to like, I'm just getting like almost like your mountain, just really like a kind mountain, because she does have grapes and pentacles around her, so that would denote like structure and like just like fruitfulness, ripeness, like enough love to give. Yeah, and she's actually looking pregnant too, like her hand is on her belly, so like enough love to give, like this person always had enough love to give to you. And just with the Page of Swords looking back, and the Spirit looking back, like this may have been how you saw this person in on the earth realm, but then with both of them looking backwards, to me that's them looking in the past. They're still like watching you, so they just wanted to denote that. And maybe you smell smells or hear music, or, and I get a bunch of things pointing that way. What does that mean? Or feel them, like when you're out in nature at certain times. And that makes sense because for the messages I did get that some of you may like see this person or think of them with butterflies, or and for the nourishing of the soul too, like maybe they had a garden or they spent a lot of time gardening with you. And I got tires separately, so I was like, oh, did they help you change your tires, or do you need to check your tires? Then I also got tree, which denotes to me a pine tree. Maybe some of you planted something special, or you something about Christmas and pine trees, something about pine trees with this person. And also for another person, the tire and the tree just happened to sync up on my hand. So like I feel like, you know, something about a tire swing where this person lived, or some memory you have with this person. All right, and next we have Ace of Swords and Ten of Wands, and that is like your combined energy at this moment. Like, so they're acknowledging that they're seeing you grow and fruit from this, and that you're going to be able to put the burden of the heaviness of this time away, and that makes sense as well with before I thought it was an actual spirit's advice on this, which was the Seven of Swords and the Seven of Wands in reverse. Like, I feel like you're almost beating yourself up for not being there, or having some situation where you felt like you didn't give everything that you could. Like, maybe you internal, I find that we're harder on ourselves than other people are on us, especially when it concerns someone that passed over. And you're just being told, like, don't be so defensive about this to yourself. Don't beat yourself up, because that's not the case. Like, and I'm just being called to, like, the fire on the wand. Like, you were actually out helping other people, like helping other people in some way when this person passed. You were like holding structure in your own life, and they're just acknowledging that to you. All right, and I got so many cards out for this one. All right, and then we had, yeah, the Seven of Fire. So the Seven of Wands came out again in a different deck, and look at that. That's just beautiful, and their little spirits around it. And just like I said with the Seven of Wands, like, you were out holding your place, like creating light and magic for other people, and this person wants to acknowledge that they see that. Oh yeah, and I've just got truth chills through this entire thing. So really feel like when this person passed, you just so much guilt about it. Like, I'm feeling so heavy. Like, when their tower came, when they passed over, you were feeling with the Seven of Air, Seven of Swords, like all wrapped up in yourself. Like, you felt like you couldn't, like you weren't able to feed or nurture them in the way that you felt you should. But if you look at, like, your path at that time was really spirit guided. And with the Ten of Air, yeah, look, like feathers to me denote spirit, and like it would usually be the Ten of Swords, which is what I feel you maybe feel about this. I'm very hurt, guilty, but you're supposed to blow those feathers up. Like, where you were at the time that this person passed, like, was divinely guided. And you know, look at the Tower. Like, this was an amazing moment. Like, maybe this person, I'm feeling just like released from the rocks. Like, maybe this person was ill, or this was unexpected. And if you look at the rays, like, they were just able to like expand. And my dad passed recently, and what I felt when I was driving to the Mayo Clinic, like what I kept on getting, I didn't know for sure that he had passed yet, but I knew for sure that he had passed. Like, if you know that, I just kept on feeling like it was almost like a supernova, like almost like a releasing and an expanding, and like taking off a too tight of shoe. So really feel like that's what this person wants to acknowledge to you, and that's just like amazing. And next we have the Queen of Earth and the Messenger of Fire for you. So the Queen of Pentacles and the Messenger of Fire. So they really see that this passing, they've watched you grown, like just like with the Nine of Pentacles, like you have part of them in you, and you're really growing structure in your life right now. It seems like you were a little, you know, even though you are creative and you are open-minded and your views are expanded, sometimes people can be a little flighty and undirected at that time, like a little, like you're fearing the unknown. It feels like you have been recently, and they're just oh my god, and I've never noticed this on this card before. So she's actually like, there's like a little butterfly talking to her right there. Aww. So you're definitely being led by this person. I think I'm gonna cry, and I don't like it when I cry, like during meetings online, but this is beautiful. So yeah, with the Messenger of Fire, which is a messenger of spirit, like you are getting guidance from this person. Like, you don't even know it. Like, look at her looking inside, or maybe some of you actually do know it. And I'm just being told that with the Crown, like to acknowledge that you guys do know that, like that you guys do you have thought about the messages that you have thought, but maybe you've thought like, that's crazy, that's not reality. No, let me assure you that actually is. So the messages that you've got for this person, you've something that you saw, something that you smelled, being outside in a certain place, different kind of structures, in different situations. And hold on, I'm just getting something, so I'm trying to decipher that for you. Stories. When stories have come out, I feel like you guys have been talking about these people recently. Now, I know not everybody, this has been like a recent death, but I feel like there's been more stories out lately, and they want to acknowledge that you've been talking about them. Maybe from when, a long time ago, like stories from when you were a child that maybe you didn't remember, and they brought those stories to you so you could experience that again. So if you're listening to they want to acknowledge that was brought to them. And for some of you, you did grow up as a small child with this person. I think that some of you may be getting a lot of messages just recently. I'm getting the 9 of Air, the Queen of Air, and the Page of Fire, and I was actually drawn to the Page of Fire. Like, that's how it works for me. Like, I'm drawn to things. Either I see them in my mind, or I'm drawn to certain parts of an image. So I feel like through this hurt, through this pain, you are standing like more sure in yourself. Yeah, and there's actually like a butterfly on her head. So you guys are more sure of yourself because of this. And if this has happened recently, like, you are becoming more sure of yourself. Like, you're just like sprouting up. And Aw. And maybe this was like a grandpa. I know I said that in the beginning of the reading, but I just get, the King of Water, somebody very, very kind, like holding out and seeing you like glow up. But you guys aren't like too serious. Like, you go towards life like more like with the eyes of a child, like looking forward to see what you can expect, like being curious about things. And they're really showing me that part of you is spinning up now. Like, that part of you is opening up like a rainbow right now. And they just really want to acknowledge that. Looks like you guys were somebody's favorite, maybe, just by the way he's holding that. And I know this card specifically has come across as my grandpa before too. So, all right, I'm supposed to get hurried up on this. So it's probably felt like you're spending too much time on this part of the reading. Okay. And I'm just supposed to mention the owl there for some people too. Yellow-eyed owl. All right. And next I have the Hanged Man and the Five of Swords. So I really feel like you guys have just kind of been like maybe ignoring conflict lately, which is not a bad idea. But what they're telling me in the cards that follow is that perhaps there were things that you needed to say to people. Perhaps there were things that you felt you didn't get to say, and that's left you stuck. That's left you in pain. And I'm just supposed to acknowledge that what you needed to say was received with the call. When you speak to them, they hear you. And with the Hierophant, like I said, that's just another confirmation again. That these people were the structure in your life. Perhaps it was a spouse. Perhaps it was somebody in an official field, that maybe they had a job as like a business person or an attorney or a justice of the peace. I don't know, that might be for somebody. But specifically that you guys, as you're becoming stronger in yourself, as you release this pain and heal from it, you're going to be rising up in yourself too, just like and really being more in love with life and being more kind to yourself with the Nine of Water. because these people, that's why they came across, to acknowledge that to you, especially right now, because I feel with the Chariot and the Star, there's going to be a lot of quick movement coming up for you guys, but they want you to know that you're going to be able to, you know, maneuver it, because like a child, you're going to be able to go through this pretty easily. Yeah, and with the Four of Earth, I really feel like you were stuck before, like you were being held back or holding back yourself with not healing from this pain. But you guys are really going to be glowing up and opening, and I'm just looking at her antennas, like just supposed to confirm, have the things that you have heard be a confirmation to you, that what you're thinking of doing is a path for you, and it may seem ridiculous, and you may be like, no, that won't work out, like I don't know how that will lead, but that's really what you've been prepped for this year. Like, it's kind of like fast movements, being able to be agile, and this person's death may have had a part in that, to prepare you for the next part, because I really feel like you guys are, and literally got the card like you guys are born to be leaders. I feel like maybe some of you guys have been doing the Hermit, and I do love the Hermit, but I got the Chariot again, and Chariot is like as above so below, and your card is creating heaven on earth. So I really feel like you guys are bringing your truth in. Perhaps some of you are healers or intuitives yourself, and you just need this to be confirmed as your message, but you're bringing, with whatever you're doing, and I'm being brought to the sun, like you're actually being the sun for other people, like you are glowing and making other people like so happy. So that's amazing. All right, this is it. This is the final part. All right. Yeah, and we got the Eight of Water here, and actually my Gita deck, which I never pull from, and that's overcoming fear in reverse. So I really feel like you guys are being asked, it's another confirmation that you may not know where things are going right now, like this thing you're thinking about, like this idea you're thinking about going forward with, but I'm being called to the King of Water again, and the Queen of Air. Like, you guys are protected. You guys are protected during this. So you guys don't have to worry. Yeah, these are the last cards, I promise. So we have Time of Death. Oh, and I have Thursday too, so Thursday might mean something to some of you guys. Maybe they had a birthday, or you guys had a special holiday on a Thursday, or something just happened last Thursday, but I'm supposed to confirm Thursday for somebody. We have Time of Death, and I really feel like there is a lot of emotions around that, but that was planned. I'm getting like that was orchestrated perfectly at that time and space in your life. And Secret of Secrets, I feel like a lot of you guys are like leveling up, becoming more intuitive right now after a time of like deep remorse, but this person is still nurturing you. And then True Leaders, just like I said, like you guys went through part of this to make yourself actually stronger, to be able to, you know, not lead through like telling people what to do, to lead by just being you. I think Sagittarius has been getting this message, so maybe some of you guys are Sagittariuses or have a lot of things in your 9th house, but I feel like you're more natural leaders, like you're more, it's like a softer way, and then that expands to like teachers or servers or like anything else, and that's just like a really beautiful card. I actually think I got all the messages out in this pile, so maybe I won't even have to do draw pile. So that's amazing. Let's just see if there's anything else that I need to say. And I'll just try and get that. I feel like maybe some of you have been visiting or going by the house that this person lived in lately. I'm being drawn to mention a house, like you looking, or maybe you're looking to buy a house that this person lived in, or maybe you inherited a house, or you're just driving by it. So I'm just getting acknowledgement of that here. Let's see, anything else? Okay, if any of you had red flowers at the grave this year, that wants to be acknowledged. Pine cones and some jewelry, like with round beads. A rosary, maybe somebody has a rosary of somebody that passed over. Yeah, because I'm getting them like they're even. Okay. Yeah, and with the cross, that's definitely a rosary. So if you needed to know the colors, it looks like a red rosary, or possibly a different colored, like I don't know, are they calling me the onyx or tiger's eye, or it looks like an older rosary though. Let me see what else. Someone wants to acknowledge red and yellow flowers. Yellow flowers. I'm getting yellow flowers, like a sunflower. And sewing. Someone is a sewer, or someone is acknowledging your sewing, like you're stitching, like specifically you're stitching. You've been stitching. Maybe that's embroidery, I'm not sure. And birds. I can relate to that because my mom comes through as an eagle. So birds, some of you see birds as well. And some of you may have had children after they've gone on, specifically perhaps a boy. And they just want to acknowledge that as well. Or perhaps you are a boy. And perhaps somebody used a cane, because I'm being drawn to this big like stick I have in the corner of my room. Anything else? Oh, my dog just like sighed, so I suppose it's time for me to go. So for anybody that this helped, I super appreciate it. And if this resonates with you guys, and you know, please let me know, because this is the first time I've done this online. Usually I have a person in front of me and they're able to confirm, like when I get an image, that relates to them. Alright, and I think that's good for now. So I'm just going to clear out the air before you guys go. Thanks. Have a good night.